And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Jose Figuera? I think it's Figuera. What's the question? Who wins in a fight, Pinhead or Freddy Krueger? We had Freddy Krueger on the speed round earlier this week. Now he's back again for the regulars. And honestly, this is probably one that would have gone in the speed round, really looking into it. Because obviously, Freddy's real power only comes when he's in the dream world. He is the Sandman slash Boogeyman, although really it's Michael Myers who's the Boogeyman. He's the Sandman. But in the dream world, he's nigh infallible. Like you can lucid dream and kind of go toe to toe with him, but it's limited. There's limited amounts of damage you can do to him. Really, his only weakness is if he gets pulled out into the real world, and then he's no more powerful than a normal human. I used to think he did have some level of reality warping in the real world. He doesn't actually. No, at least it would be so minor as to not even be reality warping. It might be like occasional trick here or there, but that's it. Otherwise, he's just a guy of his build with a knife club. Pyramid Head is essentially kind of a spirit of vengeance. He's also as the executioner. He is essentially a manifestation in Silent Hill, and he's basically the one who punishes the wicked. And he's more or less. I mean, he's not a hero, though he's been portrayed in a more protagonistic light in recent games and movies. But he is still a monster of Silent Hill. He possesses enhanced strength, stamina. He wields the giant blade he wields. So he's a skilled sword fighter in that sense. He's also kind of nigh immortal as well. He can be injured but not defeated in the traditional means. He really only disappears when because he's a manifestation tied to a character's guilt and need for punishment. He only disappears when his purpose is fulfilled and may return with increased power. So he can't be defeated in a standard way. Now again, if I put him up against someone who is of mystical inclination, like Dr. Fate, Dr. Strange, or Wanda, or Zatanna, someone whose magical power, or even a Constantine, someone whose magical power is enough to deal with something like that, that'd be one thing. But we're not in this case. He also has the literal ability to torture and punish individuals by carving trails that inflict torment stats on survivors. Like he can literally inflict torment on others and have a range attack with that in order to fulfill his goal. The reason this should have gone in the speed round is there's no real way for Freddy, to fight him on his terms. Because Freddy exists within the dream world. He exists within the unconscious mind, basically, in that parallel world. And unfortunately, that's not where Pyramid Head is. Pyramid Head doesn't sleep. He doesn't do anything like that. So, if this fight takes place, it would be in the real world. Theoretically, now this is where I go theoretically. Now, in the real world, yeah, Pyramid Head would whip Freddy's ass. But there is one caveat to this, and that is the nature of the world of Silent Hill. Obviously, in Silent Hill, when that mist rolls in, it is, there's demons, there's supernatural things going on. It is kind of like a dreamlike world. Reality kind of warps and bends in that way. In theory, if the fight took place within that world, within the world of Silent Hill, within the mists and everything going on there, Freddy probably doesn't use the full extent of his power because he can't, because he's not in his world. But he's probably not without some level of like reality warping or bending of physics or anything like that. Because again, the whole world of Silent Hill, weirdly enough, does lend itself to Freddy Krueger a little bit. Hold on, Silent Hill. I just need to be sure about it. Silent Hill series. Okay, horror story game. Yep, I know that. First installment. Let's see here. I want to know the basis of the series so I know I'm not bullshitting anyone here. Let's see here. Okay, installment. Stumbling upon a cult and conducting a ritual to revive a deity worships. Harry discovers the dark origin. Multiple games. Blah blah blah. I know with Silent Hill, like the whole mist coming in and affecting reality and things going on. That is a crux of the game. That's crucial to the game. And a lot of stuff kind of goes weird in that game. Like at least in the movies, even though the movies aren't that great from what I understand, at least in the movies, when the mist rolls out, a lot of the effects kind of disappear in the in the movie or in the town. Like I'm being very. I'm checking this now. Call encounter. I'm probably said the movie wasn't that good. It made 100 million against the $50 million budget, which isn't profitable, by the way, because they got to factor marketing in that too. And the third, generally speaking, that the studio gets or the theater gets. She awakens to the fog surrounding dimension of silent. Yeah, it's a different dimension, so it's very possible, however, maybe not likely, that Freddy's powers could work in the Silent Hill verse outside the dream world to whatever extent. Now, to what extent, that's the question, because if I'm not making him full power, how powerful do you think he would be? I'd say at least 25%, maybe as much as 50. That would be, I think, reasonable. But again, because this is not truly his dimension, not his world, maybe functions in a similar basis, I do think he is limited in what he can do. But that being said, you give a nigh omnipotent being at best 50% of his power, and now you have a semi omnipotent being, semi phenomenal, nearly cosmic, as Jeannie said. It's difficult though, because I still don't think Freddy has the power to stop Pyramid Head. He doesn't have a specific ability. He doesn't have the right, because he's not really using magic. He is bending the world, the physics and laws of the world around him, using his imagination and such, because that's the logic of dreams. Dreams are not magical in that sense. And this dimension itself isn't necessarily magical either. It's more like hell dimension. It's more like a part of hell than anything else. There's demonic entities, all that. So, and even him drawing on that power wouldn't affect Pyramid Head that much, because Pyramid Head's from this world too. So even with that power, Freddy would stand a better shot, certainly, but I don't think he would win the day. I think Pyramid Head, even if I did logic away for Freddy to use a portion of his actual power, it still would not likely go to him. It would still very much likely go to Pyramid Head, I think because of just the nature of Pyramid Head and the lack of ways to actually do something to him that Freddy has, which is a weird way to say Freddy doesn't have much. I think it would go to Pyramid Head ultimately. But this is just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.